welcome back to the vlogs. It is Monday afternoon. I filmed 2 videos today. I had work, made some progress at work, which is good. And yeah, it is way too warm. That is so annoying. But yeah, let's talk about the reading. For this week, I have only one book kind of planned, which I think I will need the week for, and that is Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which is the first book in the Architect series. This is a reread to get ready to read the second book, and I read the first 100 pages today. As you can see, it's just a little bit. But yeah, I remember a lot more now that I'm rereading it than I thought I'd remembered, which is nice. But it's a story about humanity in space, and the biggest problem in space is the architects, who are kind of as big as moons, and they come and they restructure planets and spaceships and stuff like that, which is where the name is coming from, and they make kind of like sculptures out of them. And everything that is on the planet or the spaceship, whatever, dies once they do that. And humanity got together with different aliens and stuff, and they tried to get, the overhand over them. And the only thing that they could really do was create intermediaries, which are humans that are altered, and they can interact with the architects with their minds, kind of. And with that, they managed to turn one architect around, and then they kind of vanished the architect. And our one main character, Solace, she was in that war, and then she gets put on ice because she's like a special human engineered warrior, and she gets put on ice, gets brought out 40 years later because she's needed again, and she meets back up with Idris, who is one of these intermediaries, and it's like all because of a premonition, but pretty much the architects are back. They thought they had managed to get them to stay away, but they have not, and that is where we're at right now. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It is as I remembered it. The characters are pretty complex. They aren't like your instant likable characters, but they are really interesting, and I do really like them. So yeah, the first 100 pages are just intro, pretty much. Other than that, I did some more knitting. I am so far now with the sweater I'm currently doing. I'm currently working on the arm, and yeah, I put it together under the arms, and I'm now doing the arms, so not incredibly much more, but I made some progress, and that is all I needed. And yeah, other than that, I started playing Beyond Two Souls today. A lot of fun. And yeah, that is kind of all for today. We'll see how the book continues, what the reading is giving. I don't quite know where they're going next, the group, because I don't remember all of the details, so it's kind of interesting, Okay, it is Wednesday afternoon. I'm sitting in a dark room because it is unimaginably hot in Germany. We have 36 degrees today. I just went to the supermarket, which was a really bad idea. I think it's the first time since the summer starting that I have seen not one kid outside, because it's so hot you can't even let the kid outside. Yeah, it's horrible. I hate it. I really hate it. I also broke my clothes buying ban because I realized I do not have enough summer clothes. Like, I have enough tops, but I don't have enough bottoms because, my body changes. I'm getting older. And I'm working out, and that seems to have some weird effects on my body. And yeah, so I bought myself some new skirts that hopefully come soon, so I have something to wear with the weather we are having. But yeah, I look like shit because, so I don't care that the video quality isn't good, how I'm sitting right now, because I look like shit anyways. It's just way too warm. I'm really sorry. But yeah, I did want to give you a quick check-in with the Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I am halfway through now. I am remembering a lot of the book, rereading it, which is kind of nice because it means I did retain a lot of the story. our crew, we had the first death on our crew, which I think it was a needed death for the story. But it also wasn't like a super unnecessary / senseless death where you like don't really know the person at all. It is a death that has a little bit of an impact on yourself, but not too much, because I don't know, it's not one of the like main characters, but he did like was part of the crew that is our main characters. So we had that, and then our crew is now searching for some artifacts of some alien tribe, which they found out that the aliens had artifacts on their ship that made the architects turn around and actually not attack planets. And so they are searching for the research for that now, and are trying to just find something that is helping, because yeah, the architects are back and it brings a lot of problems with them. I really like the crew. It's like a real hodgepodge of different people. You have Idris, which is our intermediary, who already like managed to hold an architect off. He has a lot of problems. And then we have Solace, which I love Solace, which is our modified human soldier. And then we have Chris, who is like a lawyer, but she is also running away from things, which is kind of fun, which is why she lives with the crew. And then we have Kittering, who is an alien, and then we have Ollie, who was born without limbs and now can control pretty much any robot, any machine, on like as long as there's a remote, because she just learned growing up that you can do that. And then we have the last alien, I think, one or two more, which I forgot the names again. I'm bad with remembering names, but yeah, that is kind of our hodgepodge crew. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's a good adventure. I think this is one of those, you know, they do go from station to planet. They run away from things. Everybody has their own problems that kind of like get thrown into the story as well. So that is also a lot of fun. Yeah. So I do think I will be able to finish it this week. It is a hefty book. It is 600 pages roughly, and obviously it's so warm that I'm reading a little bit less than I normally would, I think, just because, you know, it's just I don't want to do anything, to be honest, after work. What I am doing is knitting a little bit, because I kind of want to keep my hands busy at least, and I'm doing a lot of gaming because, but like not anything. I did want to continue with Beyond the Souls, but I think that is a weekend game. I need to be able to have like longer sessions to play that. So I'm currently playing some like idle games and like little farming games, like games where you don't really need your head to play the game. So that is what I'm up to at the moment. And yeah, that is the update for today. I will now melt. I think I don't know how people do it that live in climates where it's this hot a lot of the time. It's just, I don't know if I've ever had a day that was this hot in Germany here. I can't remember, to be honest, and it's not good. It's really not good. So yeah, I will see you once I read a little bit more, and then we'll see how much I remember of like the second half of the book. But yeah, I'm remembering more than I thought, and that is making me really. So it is Friday now. I finished The Architect's book one, Shards of Earth, I think. Someday I'm gonna remember everything. Today is not the day. Yeah, I finished that book and I actually updated my rating and gave it a better rating than the first time. The first time around, I gave it 4 stars. But I think rereading it made me appreciate the story even more, and so I'm giving it 5 stars. I'm actually really happy about it. I think one thing that I kind of didn't focus on as much the first time around was the backstory of the characters, because especially Solace and Idris, I think, have really, really interesting backstories and kind of traumas in their past, which maybe Solace, for example, doesn't really realize that maybe she has a lot of trouble with like where she's coming from, her being bred to do a thing and not being like a child of like a couple of people, but like being like brought into this world to be like a weapon, and then her being put on ice when she's not used and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of like trauma. I don't know if you can really call it trauma, but like a lot of like trouble in her past that translates into how she behaves in certain situations. And I think that is something I didn't really pick up on the first time around reading it. I was more focused on like the story itself and the whole architect thing and where we're traveling and stuff like that. And I think now the second time around, I was much more appreciative of that and what that means for the story. Same with Idris and some of the other characters. So I think that made the story even better. So I'm really, really glad I went back and reread that book. Because yeah, it's a 5-star read now, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I would really recommend going for that series. Yeah, I can't wait to pick up the second part next month. It's gonna be really nice. I'm back into that series. I might need to pick up part 3 depending on how part 2 turns out, but I guess I don't know. I would be surprised if it is much worse. Like a lot worse than the first one. I would be really surprised, I have to say. But I finished what I wanted to finish this week, which is really, really good. I also know what I will pick up tomorrow morning. I will pick up the Karen Slaughter book. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, that is what I will pick up tomorrow morning. Other than that, I have a knitting update. I finished the first sleeve, and I finished the ribbing like a couple of hours ago. I don't know if I like this type of ribbing. I think it's a twisted rib, it's what it's called, and it is much tighter looking, I feel like, than a normal ribbing, which, obviously it's much neater looking as well, so I get that, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't made my mind up about that. But yeah, it was really hard on my hands, I have to say, the ribbing, because the needles are quite small. It's a 3.5 millimeter needle, and so that really went into my wrist. So I'm gonna take maybe like a day pause of the project. I'm gonna work on a project with some bigger needles that I'm starting today. Initially, I wanted to go straight to the sock knitting because I promised my partner I would knit him some socks, but that needle is even smaller and my wrists really need a pause of the small needles, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is looking so far. I do think I will have just enough yarn, which is good because I was afraid that the sleeve would take more than two balls of yarn, but it took exactly 2. So that means I have 2 left for the other sleeve, and then I have 2 more balls of yarn for the length of the sweater and for the color. So we'll see. Either I will just make it or I will just not make it. Yeah, I might need to order 1 more ball of yarn, which is annoying, but it is what it is. Otherwise, I'm really, really happy. I also got a new yarn order. Bought some more yarn because I needed needles, and I'm trying to order less off of Amazon, which means that if I order from like smaller businesses or like online shops, I need to get to the threshold of free shipping because I hate paying shipping. Especially if the store has other things that I do really want and would buy sooner or later. So yeah, I ordered a little bit of yarn, which I'm not gonna show you now because it's downstairs, but yeah, there are a few more projects coming, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, that is kind of what is happening right now. I'm really happy that the work week is over. It was a really tough work week again. It's not even that work is hard, it's just that it's so draining at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the most fun thing in the world. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of how the week is going. I'm really happy with reading this week. I don't know. I didn't expect to love the book more than I liked it the first time. That was kind of surprising. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, but I'm also really surprised about that. Other than that, I ordered hair color. I don't know how much you can see it, but my hair is turning brown, which is not what I want. So I ordered the allergen-friendly hair dye, and once that is here, I will do a week of allergy testing. And so hopefully I can dye my hair by the beginning of not the next week, but the week after the next week. That would be nice, but yeah, I'm not sure. It depends on if I'm allergic to the color as well or not. But yeah, that is how it's going. I'm actually really hoping your reading week is going as well as mine. I think it really gives you like an upwind to read a book again and love it even more. I don't think that happens all too often to me. So yeah, I'm really impressed by that. Okay, it is Saturday afternoon now. We had a lot of errands to run, so it is already later in the day, but at least I got ready, which is, I think, the first time or second time this week, because it's just way too warm to get ready on like a consistent basis. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not vibing with this weather, let me tell you. I mean, I tell you every day, I think. I'm complaining a lot about the weather, but then again, I'm not a summer person, so I get to complain. I read the first 100 pages of Genesis by Karen Slaughter, and so far it reads like your average thriller, I would say. It began so funny, which isn't, I don't know, it's not funny, but it felt funny to me if you're a kid of the internet age. I mean, I'm 30 now, I grew up with the internet, and if you're a Reddit user, I'm not a Reddit user per se, I do have an account, but I don't really use it. But the beginning of the book kind of reads like one of those Am I the Asshole posts about your in-laws, because the beginning is like a couple driving, and we get like the whole life story of this woman, pretty much about how she grew up and how she raised her children, and that she might have been too protective of her children and smothered her one child, she only has a son, and smothered him too much and stuff like that, and how she cannot stand her daughter-in-law because the woman doesn't have a backbone, while at the same time allegedly like planning the whole day for her son. Like, it was really weird, kind of. But like, the whole thing that we get from this woman is that she complains about her daughter-in-law without a real reason, seemingly. And it reads like one of these Am I the Asshole posts once like that blows up, you know? And then she complains that she cannot stand her grandchildren and that she doesn't like them, but like they rooted their life up to move closer to them because they wanted a relationship with the grandchildren, because they thought they would change or something like that. And it's so dumb because it's just the going, like, getting to the accident where like this like tortured woman runs into the road and they hit her with their car, and like it's so weird. It's like this whole rant, so unnecessary. I don't know. Maybe it comes up again. I don't know if the couple plays a role in the book. But like, if they don't play a role in the book, I don't know why we got this whole history of these people and their daughter-in-law, and I have no idea why. And it read so funnily, like one of those Am I the Asshole posts. And yeah, I couldn't really take it seriously, which is kind of not ideal for the book, but I guess that's just, you know, a me problem with like being too much on the internet. I don't even like the Am I the Asshole posts, I have to say, because most of them are just AI nowadays, and most of them are just the same thing rewritten because it's the internet. But yeah, it was just such a funny thing to read, and it's kind of not really sensible in the thriller. But yeah, I thought it was just too much in the beginning. And other than that, we have Sarah, who's our main character, who works in the ER, and then we have Will Trent, because that is who this series is about, which there's a TV series which I couldn't stand. I tried watching it, I couldn't stand it. I don't particularly love the character. I'm remembering now that I didn't really love the other book as well. Other than that, it's just your typical standard thriller. So far it's fine. we're gonna have to see. We have the woman who got like run over by the car, who has a lot of like torture marks and stuff like that. She is still in surgery, getting through that. And our main character, Sarah, she's like keeping with her and trying to like make her feel better. And then Will Trent is currently trying to investigate the case. That is where we're at. So yeah, we'll see how this continues. It's hopefully not as funny. I would like a good thriller, but like at this point it's just a funny thriller, to be honest. And that is a kind of weird feeling, to be honest. So yeah, but that is where the reading's at right at the moment. And then I also yesterday got a new piece of clothing, which I wanted to show you because I really love it. And that is this new skirt I got. I mean, I feel a little bit like a forest witch in the skirt, but I'm currently, it's way too warm to really wear any type of trousers, to be honest, in my opinion, other than really short ones, which I don't love, because I don't love my legs. But yeah, I'm kind of getting into my long skirt era, which, I always thought I looked hideous in them. I changed my mind, and so I bought myself a few ones. I'm still waiting on the other one, but yeah, it's so nice. It's a linen and cotton skirt. It's so nice to wear. So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at. I also haven't continued with the sweatshirt yet, knitting wise, because it just I need to start knitting summer tops. I don't know. For some reason, I think my head was just like, oh, summer's gonna be really short, like it used to be. Summer's gonna be really long. We are supposed to get temperatures into the 40s in a couple of weeks. If like it keeps on track with how the weather service is saying it is. And that is going to be horrendous. We never get temperatures like that here. We are not prepared for that. So that's going to be horrible. So yeah, I started knitting a summer top finally, but you can't really see much yet, which is why I'm not showing you. I will show you next week. But yeah, I decided I need to let the fall stuff rest a little bit and do a little bit of summer stuff, because I need to accept that we have summer and it's going to be a couple of months of summer, which is not normal for Germany. But climate change for the win. I hate it. Yeah. On that note, let's end the vlog. I had a lot of good reading this week. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good reading week. Bad week work-wise, mind-wise, all of that, but we're getting there. And yeah, way too warm. That is also a problem. But yeah, maybe you can leave down below how it is where you live, if your temperatures are also like way off than what they would have been a couple of years ago, and how badly warm it is where you live. Except for if you live in Australia. I'm kind of jealous right now because you guys have winter and I would love a winter right now. But yeah, other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope I will see you again in the next vlog, and we'll see what the thriller will give us for the rest of the book. So yeah, thank you for watching, and bye bye.